Stop! Stop, guys, stop. Stop. Just stop for a sec, okay? Just breathe. Step back from the aquarium. Pull the phone away from your face. How's it going, guys? I'm Alexander Williamson, and I'm here today to remind fish keepers, old and new, that sometimes the best thing we can do is slow down, think about things, and then make a decision on what we're going to do. I get so many letters now as the form of emails, as comments, and somebody says I wake up and all of a sudden there's algae in my aquarium. I get emails saying I woke up and I didn't really realize it, or I was gone for a few days, and suddenly there is green and blue stuff growing right in the front of my glass. And I've heard that cyanobacteria is bad and it can be poisonous, and I need to get it out of there. And quickly they grab, a credit card or whatever's nearby, and they start scraping it. Well, what's that doing? Well, first of all, it is taking it off the front, and it's just going to float throughout the aquarium. Then those little cells will regroup now that they've been distributed on more surface area quicker. However, if you stop and really want to get rid of it, you can scrape it slowly with the siphon there and get rid of that. But moreover, what I want to say is, let's stop and think about the system, the processes. Cloudy water is another one. Or waking up in the morning and you find that a shrimp or a fish of yours has passed away, and everybody looks fine other than the one, and you think something has to be wrong in this tank. I need to add dechlorinator, I need to add stress coat, I need to add water clarifier, and I need to add prime or C-Chem safe or something like that. And almost without fail, there are maybe on one hand the amount of times I can count that I actually need to hurry in the fish room and do something like that second/minute, rather than that I can't step back, think about it for a minute. If I need to, call a friend, call a fellow fish club member, look online, read something, or just think about it. And that's kind of my message to you guys today, hopefully, in this just quick video, which is, when we slow things down, it allows our brain to make connections that we may not have made otherwise. When you're keeping fish, information from the rest of your knowledge base, even if it has nothing to do with the hobby, may come in very handy. Now, likewise, what you learn by observing your fish, by stopping and just simply staring at your tanks, letting your mind wander, wondering what the fish are doing, what the shrimp are cleaning, what that slimy stuff is, what the little strands of flowing algae are doing versus when your tank looks a little foggy, what it is that you did beforehand, or whatever the last variable that changed was. Did you feed them a new kind of food? A lot of times people call me and they say, I have that oil on top of my tank and I hate it. It's making like a foamy look in my tank. And I can say, if you need to hurry and do something, the first thing you should do is just test your water. Hurry up and test your water. Check the temperature and check the ammonia. If those two things are okay, if you have 0 ammonia and your temperature is where you were expecting it, pretty much you don't have to hurry. Now, if everything is passing away in your tank quickly, it might be a good idea to hurry in theory, but in another sense, rarely have I ever been able to do something and save those fish. Maybe if you accidentally are feeding and the lid falls off of a can of flakes, and all of a sudden you dump the whole food thing in there, that would be a time you might want to act quick. If a fish jumps out of a tank, that would be another time you might want to act quick. If a fish is gasping at the top of the water and its gills are red, that might be another time. So see, on one hand, really, am I counting the times when moving quickly, might be of the essence. Moving a fish, catching it with the net, something like that. But all these other things that people want fixed so quickly, whether it's clarity, whether it's an algae bloom, whether it's their plants not looking so hot, these things usually didn't go wrong in a minute. They usually went wrong over several weeks, and we may not have perceived that, noticed that, or just caught it, you know. Might have been distracted or doing other things in life and just doing a little bit of maintenance. But if you were laser focused, there's some things that are so small you still wouldn't be able to catch them. So think about what it is that you did and then apply the knowledge that you have. If there's a piece missing, then think about, you know, going and acquiring that knowledge. But say the tank is cloudy. The first instinct is always, I need to fix the cloudy water. I need to make this water clear. Cloudy, it must be bad for the fish or something. Or algae, it must be bad for the tank. And in reality, what it might be telling you is that yes, conditions have changed in the tank, but the algae is telling you you have a cycled tank. The cloudy water could be telling you a number of things. I have an entire video on that if you want to know more about that. But it's telling you that something changed, and you can then go back and try to figure out what that was. And that's why I recommend not changing a million things at once in the tank. You know, you do a water change, and then don't add new food or medication or whatever it may be that you're doing. Don't reorganize the tank. Don't trim the plants. Unless those are things you've done in the past over and over, and you understand, I did a water change, I waited 6 hours, and this is what happened. Some people, their tank gets cloudy every time they do a water change. Other people, it clears up. And when people write me with these questions of what to do, when you are looking for answers and looking for help, the internet's gotten pretty darn good at saying, you know, there is a white milky stuff in the tank. How do I fix it? Now, if any of these answers are go get a bottle of stuff that kills algae, go get a bottle of stuff that clarifies your aquarium, I'm going to ask you to stop and look and see if there is a systemic issue and a systemic way to fix the problem. Now, if it's nothing harmful, why the rush? I understand you want your tanks to look nice, and we all want our tanks to look nice, and that's a different standard for everyone. For some people, that's zero algae, and I understand that. For some people, that's crystal clear water that you can see right through the tank. That's the glass is totally clean and everything. But I have seen people, you know, guests are coming over and they use Windex, they clean their tank, they don't think about it, and they acted quickly because there were some smudges on the glass. They used Windex and the ammonia got in the tank, you know? So there's things you can even do outside the tank that you're just not thinking, but you're trying to get the result you want without thinking about the holistic picture. And whenever you're interacting with your aquarium, it's an ecosystem, and there's always going to be ripple effects from things you do, whether they're good or bad. And you can set yourself up for having more positive ripples and not having to deal with these same problems over and over usually by not going to a bottle or to a powder or to a store for a solution that's a quick fix. A lot of these things, watch my other videos, watch other people's videos, but they're things that you can fix by setting yourself up for success. If they do occur, it's teaching you something. And immediately we have this panic, this fear, these creatures that we cared for, this environment that we built and that we put so much time and energy and heart into. Something's different, something's going wrong. And we want to do something. We want to have the power to do something. But in nature, so often the power to do something, the time is kind of past for that. And the response needs to be a little more thoughtful than just dumping something in that says it will fix it. Most solutions that are quick don't last. Most solutions that are quick have side effects. You know, you put a bunch of dechlorinator in or stress coat, that stuff actually tends to make eggs rubbery. So if you're trying to spawn fish and you pour that in because you're worried because a fish turned up unalive in the morning one day, all of a sudden you may have trapped all those baby fish in their eggs, and they won't be able to hatch out because the membrane's now too rubbery, because you dumped a whole cap full of stress coat or prime or whatever it may be into a 5-gallon or 10-gallon tank. So there's these things that can happen. Or cloudy water, you think you fixed it and things have settled a bit because there's some chemical you added that causes things to stick together. But maybe there's another process that goes on, or bacteria moves in to eat that chemical, and suddenly it's cloudier than it ever was, and it kicks up the stuff on the bottom that was the cloudy stuff in the first place, that's from a separate issue, and you don't even know what you were treating or what you were fixing. So today's message is to just stop, slow down, consider what you can do, and remember, in the fish room there are very few emergencies. Collect the information, think about it methodically, reach out for help, consult sources, get a few sources, and create a plan, then do the thing. Then, most importantly of all, observe it and see how it unfolds. So in the future, if this happens, you'll know what your plan's going to be, how to enact it, and that you enacted it the way it should be, and that everything is moving according to how it should be. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you guys think about this and think about the fact that something we learn about the aquarium may pop up in our work life. It may pop up in the science of, gardening. It may pop up in the science of plumbing in the house. You never know when we're going to make connections that we learned about this amazing hobby we have that will show up in other parts of our life. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hope you all can slow it down just a little bit when it comes to aquariums, and hopefully that will help you make the right choice for you and your fish. And I will see you guys next time on FISHTORY. Bye.